everybody, and welcome. I'm Debbie with Debbie Stamping Creations, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm here today to show you a few Halloween cards. I've been working on my Halloween cards the last couple of days. We still have about a week left of celebrations, which if you don't know, that's if for every $50 you spend in the mini or the annual catalog, you get to choose an item out of here for free. They're out of the bedazzling specialty paper already, but everything else is still in here. It's for $50 or for $100. You can choose one of the bigger items. This is a set of dies, and we have a stamp set here. That's the $100 value. So for every $50 or $100 you spend, you get to choose an item for free. And be sure to use the September code when you go to place your order online, and you will also receive a thank you card in the mail from me with a little surprise in it. So alright, let's get started on our card today. The card we're going to make is like this card. I've been doing Halloween cards. I have 9 grandchildren that I want to get cards ready for this year, so I've been working on them for a little while. But we're gonna start with, we're using the Frightfully Cute bundle, which is in the mini catalog, and as you can see, it's got lots of little sayings and the little characters on here: the witch, the bat, the cat, the spider, everything you need for Halloween. And the die set has got the spider web and the witch's hat and tags that you can use. And remember, when you purchase as a bundle, you save 10%. So we're going to be using that, and we are going to be using some paper, the Halloween paper, out of the mini catalog, and it's on page 51. And you can see when it's in the catalog, if you have any questions about what colors coordinate with it, it tells you right here at the bottom of the page. It also tells you on the back of the packaging. So there's never any doubt about what color you need to coordinate with something. If you're not quite sure what color is in that paper, there's ways of finding that out. But this paper has so many different cool patterns, just about every color for Halloween that you would want. There's your little skulls, and it's got pumpkins and bat cats and everything in here. This is a really cool paper, and I love the colors. So we're going to be using that today as well. And let's get started on our card. Let me get my cutter up here. Okay, for the card base, we are going to be using Flirty Flamingo, which coordinates with the paper we're going to be using. So let me get that in here. I love this cutter because you can not only cut, but you can also score, and it's all done on one piece. You don't have to go and get out another little tool to use. 5.5 by 4.25. So we're going to score it at 4.25. So that card base is done. For the first layer on here, I want to do a layer of black to frame the designer series paper I'm using. So let me see, I've got a scrap here. I'm not sure it's long enough. 5.25. Yep. And I need it by 4 because that's going to be our first layer. That's 1/4 inch smaller than the front of your card. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and cut a second one that I'm going to use on the inside of my card. Again, 5.25 by 4. My scraps over here, and that will go on the inside of the card. Now for the front of the card, I'm going to be using this piece of the designer series paper, which comes in that bundle. It is a 6 by 6. I had cut my pieces down to show you all the different patterns, but it's 6 by 6. So for the front of my card, my black layer is 4, but I just want it to frame the paper. So I'm only doing an 1/8 of an inch difference, not a 1/4 of an inch. And I need to do the same for the 5. So it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And on the inside of the card, I'm going to do a layer of white. So again, I'm going to go 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So it will be framed just like the front of the card for a place to put our inside greeting and to write a little message. Okay, we have all those papers cut, so we can get this out of the way. And I'm going to show you how we're going to put this together. We're going to go ahead and fold our card base. Get our bone folder out so we can make sure we have a nice crisp crease. And we're going to go ahead and layer our DSP onto the black piece for the front of the card. Now we're going to add a piece of ribbon here, and what I'm going to do with the ribbon is I'm just going to tie it around the entire front piece so that I can have a bow on the front of my card. There we go. And the ribbon we're going to be using is some gingham ribbon that's also in the mini catalog, and I apparently have laid it down somewhere and need to find it. So while I'm looking for that, we're also going to be using some matte black dots on our front greeting, but the front greeting we're going to heat emboss, so we'll do that first. Okay, I've got the ribbon here. We're going to tie it around the front of our card and just do a little bow. And we can adjust this bow after we get the other pieces put on, but for right now I'm just going to put it there, cut a piece off. And this is in the mini catalog in the Halloween suite, not the stamp set that we're using, but the other one that's in the book. Okay, so we have our front basically put together. Now we need to get our greeting that we're going to use on there. So let's pull out our embossing. And I still have my embossing buddy. We don't still sell this, but you can still use, people I've heard use dryer sheets, or you know, you can get these at craft stores, I think. So our embossing powders now come in a package of 3. So we're going to be using the black, and we need our Versamark ink, and we are going to use less tricking, more treating. So let me get my block. Get my stamp on here. Whoops. We're going to stamp this on here with our Versamark ink. Now we're going to use our black embossing powder. And you can see there's a little mark here. Make sure that okay, now we're going to pull out our heat tool. Stampin' Up's heat tool has got 2 speeds on it. The low speed is if you're like drying ink. Sometimes when we use a craft ink or a different ink, it takes a little while to dry. So you can put it on the 1 and dry the ink, or for 2 is for heat setting. So that's the one we're going to use for this. And it takes just a minute for this to start changing. And you'll see it once it goes because it turns shiny. There we go. Less tricking, more treating. See how that's okay? Less tricking, more treating. Okay, now we're going to use the die set that comes with this bundle. And we are going to die cut out this to go on the front of our card. So let's pull in our mini stamp and emboss machine. And these have the plates that come with them that tell you what you need when you're die cutting or using the machine. So let's put this down. So it fits in here. Put our top layer on. And we're going to die cut that out. And there we have our greeting for the front of the card. So let's go ahead and get this put together. We're going to go ahead and straighten that ribbon and put this down. And you can see how that black piece just puts enough frame around it to give it that extra little pop. Now we're going to use some dimensionals to pop the greeting on. Right there on the ribbon. Now we can take this ribbon and we can make our bow a little bit smaller, and we can trim off the excess that we don't want on there. Now just to give it a little bit more, we're going to use the matte black dots and our pick tool, and we are going to take a couple of these and add them to our greeting. Yay! Now for the inside, we need to put something in here, so let's get the stamp that says Happy Halloween to You. So we'll pull that one out, get my little block. We'll use some, whoops, I didn't get that closed up. We'll use some Memento ink and stamp this. And grab a scrap to make sure. Okay, now we can do that right at the top. Then we can attach this to our black piece for the inside of the card. It always helps to finish the inside of the card, just to make it kind of complete. Okay, now we're going to put this inside. And there you have it. The cool thing about this card is it was quick and easy. The embossing just added a little to it to give it that little extra shine and finish it off. But this can be done with any of the papers that are in this designer series package that you can get. Now here are a few other cards that I've done. This one's very similar. I don't have the black dots on it. Here's one with the orange cats. Here's another one with the same thing on it, but it says which way to the candy. And then here's one that I had made using 2 of the papers and splitting them with a piece of the black paper in the center. And I also used the spider web die and the circle die that also comes in the bundle. So as you can see, Halloween cards can be really easy to make with just the bundle and the paper. And I hope you enjoyed the card today. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the bottom. That helps me out, and it helps you to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the cards that I do. So thanks again for joining us today, and I'll see you later.